All right, thanks, Ange. We're here to build a better dog. Franco Cavaleri is here. Hi, Franco. How are you?
Hi, Kurt.
Welcome. Welcome to the program. I know you just came in from Vancouver last night. A very long flight. Yeah, 3 in the morning. This is your book, Potential Within Your Dog's Health. What we're talking about here is we're often discussing and you know, how to make ourselves healthier with supplements, vitamins, fish oils, omega-3s, omega-6, omega-9. We often forget about our pets in this manner, don't we?
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, you've been doing research, and tell me how this all came about, because you started studying humans.
I studied human nutrition and biochemistry at University of British Columbia.
Yeah.
My postgraduate work involved prostaglandin hormones and insulin, which relate to chronic inflammation and diabetes.
Right. How did you get onto the animals?
Well, most of the work that goes to human third-phase trials stems from animal trials.
Right.
And I love pets. I started consulting with various veterinary clinics to treat their difficult cases, and we found that these animals were responding better than humans to many of these nutrient-based therapies.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
What should we be thinking about then when it comes to, let's say, you know, narrow it down to dogs. I have a dog who's, you know, he's pretty fit and active and so on, but I could be keeping him healthier if I paid attention, eh?
Well, most people think, and just because manufacturers say that everything your pet needs is in a bag of food, in a can of food.
That's not necessarily so.
I mean, you look at the list, and the list of ingredients is formidable, but processing damages this nutrition. And so, you know, could you imagine how healthy you would be if you ate out of a bag for the rest of your life, every day? Every single meal.
Yeah.
Well, that nutrition is degraded. So we have to add back live nutrients to every meal of that for that animal.
Right. Where do we get these nutrients? Where do we get these vitamins?
Supplements that are designed specifically for cats and dogs, or dogs in this case, because that's what we're talking about in the book.
Yeah.
Because our metabolism is very different than theirs, and so we need to choose the supplements that are specifically designed for them.
Okay.
Fatty acid combinations like the omega and essential fats that we're talking about that include seed oils and fish oils.
Right.
A lot of the different pet stores and health food stores are now carrying that species-specific supplementation designed for their gastrointestinal tract, which is different than ours.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So there are some differences in the makeup of our pets versus. So some people might ask you the question, why can't I just give my dog the same fish oil capsules that I take, or the vitamins that I take? And no, you really shouldn't do that.
You can, but you're not going to get the same results.
Yeah.
The long-term effect is better when they're species-specific formulas.
What kind of results are we talking about? What happens to our pets if we give them the essential sort of vitamins, nutrients, and so on that they need?
Well, you empower their immune system. For example, there's a huge, the rate of skin disease and allergies is increasing tremendously in pets. And one of the reasons is the pollutants in the air, but the other reason is the type of food we're feeding increases the inflammatory response in the body. We can use supplements to actually help the body and empower it so that it subdues the response, and these allergies just disappear.
Really?
And people spend thousands of dollars in the veterinary clinic trying to use, you know, prednisone and various other drugs.
Prednisone,
and long-term use creates serious damage to the connective tissue. We can
It does hurt your dog, because I know someone who had a dog who was on prednisone forever.
Right.
And the dog was, you know, always had this super appetite. You really couldn't satisfy him, and in the end he ended up dying early because of that, right?
Yeah.
And it was all to do with allergies.
Yeah. You don't have to do that. You can use various antihistamine, bioflavonoids, natural compounds that not only block the histamine response in the allergy, but actually improve general health and wellness. And you start to see the coat improve. And the coat and skin are ultimately the tip of the iceberg when it comes when you're talking about the metabolism.
But they're a good indicator of if there's anything wrong with your dog, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is, you know, you go to a health food store or a pet store that specializes in these remedies, and there are many out there. Now you find there's pet stores for your health food, pet stores that they call the health food store for your dog.
For your dog,
you know, Global Pet and many others.
Yeah.
And these places will be able to direct you to the supplements that are specifically designed with these nutrient-gene interactions. There's specific interactions in the body.
This is, you call it a natural guide to health, happiness, and harmony for your dog. Do you give advice on sort of what nutrients and vitamins are available to people? So
absolutely.
In this book you can find the information we're looking for?
Yeah, the book speaks to emotional health to begin with, how you integrate your pet into the home, because emotional health is critically important.
Yes.
And then it teaches you how to choose the right foods for your pet based on your lifestyle. You know, some people like to choose, would prefer to use a raw dog food, fresh frozen. Some lifestyles are just not conducive to that, so the bagged food becomes the source.
Right.
The more processed your food, the more nutrition you have to add back to that food in the form of supplementation.
There's great debate about food for dogs and cats. I know that because there are some out there that are just like candy. There are others out there that are good but not good enough, and so you really have to think about that.
You do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All the information is contained in the book, and is it out in bookstores now?
Absolutely. Bookstores, in pet stores, health food stores. So we've done a great job of distributing this book. And all you need to do is find the closest place you shop at. Global Pet.
Are you gonna further this this research into pets and dogs and so on?
It continues. It continues, and we're treating autoimmune diseases. We're treating arthritis, allergies are again most prolific. Gone within days of using these applications.
I'm going to read this book, my friend, and find out how I can help my dog live a better life.
Good for you.
And in turn, it'll probably help the owners too in the end, won't it?
Well, let us know how it goes.
I will.
We're interested.
I will. He wanted to come in today, but as mentioned, Franco, I forgot him.
Poor guy.
Sitting at the door. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. There's the book, Franco Cavaleri. Good stuff for your dogs, my friend. 9:21. We'll be back with more of A Morning right after this. We're getting cooking with Baton Rouge in mere moments.